Japanese taxis are among the best in the world, and today, I'll tell you how the taxi system works here. Along the way, we'll also observe how taxi drivers operate. Right now, I'm filming at Yokohama Station, and you can see that various cars are used as taxis. For example, this is a new Toyota model developed specifically for the Tokyo Olympics. These taxis resemble London cabs. They are tall, making it easy to get in. The doors open automatically, controlled by the driver, and the trunk is quite spacious. Aside from these, regular cars like the Prius are also commonly used. Speaking of doors, many people are curious about how the system works because in Japan, passengers do not open or close taxi doors themselves. If there are more than 2 or 3 passengers, the front door might be opened by a passenger, but the rear doors are always operated by the driver. Touching the door is a big no-no. It's considered rude and annoying to the driver. Everyone in Japan knows this. Old Crown taxis are still in use. Many of them run on gas with a gas cylinder installed in the trunk. These models aren't ancient. They were produced until about 2015 to 2016 for taxi companies. Both Toyota and Nissan manufactured similar designs. However, with the introduction of newer models like the yellow taxis you see here, demand for these older vehicles has dropped. Gas cylinders in the trunk limited luggage space, which was fine for Japanese businessmen commuting light, but inconvenient for tourists or airport passengers with large suitcases. Most taxis in Japan are owned by taxi companies, and platforms like Uber are almost non-existent. The taxi industry here is heavily regulated. For example, the base fare for taxis is around 500 yen, depending on the area. And after that, it goes by the meter. From 10 p.m. to 5 a.m., there's a 20% surcharge for late-night rides. At Yokohama Station, many people use taxis due to the hilly terrain, especially on rainy days. Fares typically range from 500 to 700 yen for a 5 to 10 minute ride. Taxis in Japan are expensive, so if you're a tourist, they're better suited for short distances, like getting from a station to a hotel during bad weather. Splitting the fare with companions can sometimes make it comparable to train travel costs. Taxi drivers here are very polite and patient. They wear neat uniforms, often with white gloves and masks, not for COVID-19, but to protect passengers and themselves from colds and to avoid missing work. You'll often see elderly drivers with decades of experience. To become a taxi driver in Japan, you need a special license, not regular driving licenses, and undergo training, including first aid. If you want to work as an independent taxi driver, you need at least 10 years of experience in a taxi company in the area you wish to operate. After that, you can purchase a car, install necessary equipment like meters, and get the required licenses. You might notice that taxi availability is indicated by lights. A red light means the taxi is available, and green means occupied. It might feel counterintuitive, but the red light is meant to grab attention. Independent taxi drivers usually display their surname on the car. They're typically seasoned professionals who meet the strict requirements for licensing. Such regulations ensure high service standards reflected in the fare, which is noticeably higher than in many other countries. Payment can be made via cash, credit cards, or transportation cards like Suica or Passmo. However, some independent drivers might not accept certain payment methods. If you want to use a taxi app, there's an option called Go, which works like Uber, but is integrated with taxi companies. A 500 yen booking fee applies. In conclusion, Japanese taxis stand out for their excellent service, cleanliness, and efficiency, but they come at a price. If you visit Japan, consider using taxis for short trips or when public transportation isn't convenient. Let me know in the comments how you feel about Japan's taxi system and its strict regulations. That's all for now. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.